Nintendo saved everyone. I mean, the whole video game drought, the collapse in the 80s, and then when the NES came out, it brought it all back into mainstream.
So, yeah, so you're like, oh, you know, Nintendo saved video games. But
did.
You know what else Nintendo did?
What?
They were huge dicks to everybody. And they
What?
still are. You remember all that stuff? They were like threatening people that they weren't going to let them release games on NES and Super NES if they made the game for the Genesis. They were just being huge freaking douchebags. Look at Nintendo today. They're flagging people's YouTube videos for doing Let's Plays of their games. Nintendo's just kind of always been a company that's kind of treated their fans like crap and kind of treated developers like crap. And it's not really a surprise to me that
the YouTube
it's
thing
caught
sucks.
up to them.
The YouTube thing kind of sucks. I mean, they should feel flattered the fact that somebody...
That people want to play and advertise
And the
their
biggest
games.
reason for this whole boom is because of YouTube. And, I mean, if
like
anything...
the retro boom.
Yeah, for the retro boom is what I mean. And for anything, it's going to be great for them because when the NES Mini comes out in November, it's going to sell like freaking crazy. I'm going to buy one. Yeah. I mean, because I want to see what it's like. And it'd be cool for the store.
Speaking of that, it's time for everybody to start dumping their Mario games, Castlevania games, Mega Man 2s, whatever's built into that thing. Their values will drop. You know, most of the people that come into our store that see the old school stuff, they're like, "Oh, I remember that from when I was a kid. I'm going to pick up this NES."
It's a little weird to think about because it is going to affect prices. It's going to affect us. We're a store in the area that is notorious for always having the Mario games, the Donkey Kong games, the Castlevanias, the Metroids, the Zelda games for most part. I mean, Super Nintendo and N64 were stocked. It's getting harder to get. I mean, we sold a lot of our Zelda 1 and 2 on the NES. I mean, it's hard to get those now. Everybody sees that gold cart and they just get freaking hard and they want it. But it's gonna, yeah, I mean, if it brings the stuff down in a way, I'm happy because we might see more trades. But then again, it might just bring it down and we still don't see it. We forgot it's that time again.
That is, that's
full. That's fuller than, I was going to say something dirty,
it's
but...
fuller than the Tanner's household.
Good one. Good reference.
We weren't allowed to watch that show as children. Did I tell you that? Full House?
You did tell me that, but why?
We weren't allowed to watch it.
I feel like people need to know.
I have no idea to this day. My parents deny that we were banned from watching Full House. But I distinctly remember we had to sneak into my sister's bedroom and watch it on her 13-inch TV because my parents didn't want us watching that show.
Same size TV that we were playing Duke Nukem 64 on? I didn't really like Full House, to be honest. I liked Bob Saget, but I
can't blame you.
I like him in America's Funniest Home Videos. I thought he was good in that. But I just didn't really like Full House. Even though, funny story, dude. Funny story.
Yeah?
My first girlfriend ever.
Oh yeah, was Steve? Was it Steve?
Steve.
Steve's
DJ's boyfriend on the show was cousins with this girl, and that I grew up in Florida, right outside of Orlando, and she was my first girlfriend, and she was just like, "Oh yeah, my cousin is Steve on Full House, and he's the voice of Aladdin," and I was just like. That's cool. I don't know what Full House is really, but Aladdin's dope.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So
Aladdin's fantastic.
What were we talking about before this?
Nintendo Classic.
Do you think they're going to do this with the Super Nintendo as well? N64? I don't.
Yeah,
just because
I
the
don't know.
controller.
I don't know.
It's the controller for me.
Yeah, but they could recreate the N64 controller, but make it more durable. I mean, the whole reason the N64 controller does what it does is because they didn't lubricate the analog stick back then. I don't know if it's because they didn't know to do that.
You gotta
because
lube
it was
that
the first
stick
ever
up,
analog
man.
stick.
Lube that stick. That we just went there.
Yeah. Well, you did anyway.
I always do.
They might make an N64 one. I don't know.
I think it would be great. I think it would be great.
You sound like Bane. What a lovely
voice.
You just have to imagine the vibe.
Yeah, dude, I love that, man. We do that shit in the store all the time.
That movie sucks. Okay, so...
No, it doesn't. So I think the timing would be great for them to do the NES in November, which is already planned. Come out with the Super Nintendo in maybe like mid-January. Still get people kind of excited with a new console. And then late March, the NX.
Well, you know, the thing is, like...
Just bang, bang, bang. Just always something coming out like every 2 months.
Okay.
Sell a ton of the NESs. Sell a ton. Sell a tunnel.
Nutella, son of the...
Nutella? Damn. There's going to be a lot of editing in this
Nutella.
video. The booze is catching up with me.
You know, the thing about these things they're coming out with, like the NES, they probably could have put 40 games, 50 games on that. Nobody would have...
It's 30, right?
It's 30.
Okay.
The NES probably has, as far as good games go, maybe upwards of 50 good games.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on...
Must-have games.
Everybody's opinion is going to be different, but honestly,
Sure.
Yeah, there's probably about... I really
but when
think
they
there's
come
probably
out
about
with,
50.
like, if they come out with a Super Nintendo classic console, they're going to have to load that thing with, like, 80 games. There's so many good
So what the
Super
what would you
Nintendo
put
games.
on that?
But they'd have to put Mario World, Super Metroid, all the Donkey Kong countries,
Would you put...
Yoshi's Island,
Yoshi's Island. F-Zero.
Mario Kart,
Pilot
F-Zero, yeah, Pilot Wings. Jeez, man.
But where do you go from
the Mega
there?
Man X games could be on there.
I think just Mega Man X. If they're only going to do one Mega Man game for the NES one, just put it on Mega Man X, because it's the one that most people play. Because X2 and X3 are so expensive that a lot of people don't even play it, or even play it back in the day. And it's the best one.
I mean,
Mega
they
Man
could
X.
put Earthbound on there, Super.
Earthbound. Wow.
Jeez.
At least throw a Mortal Kombat game, or maybe even a Street Fighter game. I doubt they'd do it. Maybe a Super, like Ghosts and Goblins, or Ghouls and Ghosts. I mean, sorry.
Game's great.
Throw that on there.
There's a lot of Super Nintendo games
NBA
that they could
Jam.
throw on there if they could get the licensing and all that, the rights to put it on there.
King of Monsters 2. God, I love that game. It's so fun.
Dude, I mean, if they could get the rights to put any game on there they wanted to, and they wanted to get like all the good Super Nintendo games on there, it'd be like over 100 games it'd be on
Right.
there. The Super Nintendo is, this is not an opinion, but that is not the point. The Super Nintendo is the best console ever
I love
made.
how you threw that in there.
That's not the point.
We'll get to that later. Yeah.
Super
It's
Nintendo
coming in the
is,
future.
well, it's my favorite console ever made.
Same
and,
here.
And the reason for that is that every genre of game was like very apparent in the Super Nintendo era.
Right.
RPG, if you liked RPGs, action RPGs, platformers, fighting games, whatever you were into, shooters, whatever you were into, the Super Nintendo had it, and
So
it had
if
it
you-
in abundance.
If you could throw 3 kind of uncommon games on there, because here's the thing too. If they throw on some like obscure games that we know, that we really, really like, but the public doesn't really know, in this, like, it's kind of like a gem. What 3 games would you throw up
Goof
there?
Troop.
Goof Troop. Okay, I'll let you take that one.
Okay. Well, what were you
I'll
gonna say?
do one. Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Okay.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
And I
needs
remember
to be
playing
on.
that as a kid, but yeah, that's an obscure game. Not a lot of people know.
Not
about
a lot of people know about it, and it's
Um,
fantastic. What's another one?
Jeez, I mean, not a lot of people outside of collecting really know about Pocky and Rocky, and I haven't played a lot of Pocky and Rocky, but it's supposed
that-
to be a really fun game.
Is that Natsumi that made that?
Natsumi? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Harvest Moon. Oh, dude, I played Harvest Moon a ton.
I didn't play Harvest Moon on the
Oh.
60. I mean on the Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, yeah. I played it a ton. We owned it. We owned it when we were kids.
Damn. Bet you wish you kept that one and the
Yeah.
box.
Wish I kept that one.
So
we
you're
might have
saying
bought Carl.
so basically you said what now? Is that all 3? You said Pocky and Rocky.
Well, I mean, you could name a lot. of
3.
Super
3, 3, 3. Is that your 3?
3
You said Harvest Moon, Pocky and Rocky,
and Goof Troop.
and Goof Troop, and I have 1. I said Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Okay.
Damn, dude, you're putting me on the spot.
Rock and
It's
roll.
Rock and Roll Racing. Thank you for the assist. So yeah, Rock and Roll Racing I still think is better than even Super Mario Kart. I know I might take some bad heat on that, but I just think that Rock and Roll Racing is so fun. I loved RC Pro-Am, and I felt like they took everything from RC Pro-Am and just made it better. Love the music. I even love the annoying announcer. Like, Snake should avoid mines. Like, it's still awesome. So I'm definitely throwing Rock and Roll Racing on there. And, God, man, it's so hard. There's just so many amazing titles. You know, it would probably be on there anyway. But it just needs to be on there as a reminder of how good the game is. And it's Contra 3 Alien Wars.
Contra 3, yeah, Contra 3 is really good.
It's, in my opinion, it's the best Contra game ever made.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wouldn't disagree with you there.
And we just beat it too in the store, the two of us, on 2-player mode. We didn't beat it on hard, so we didn't get to actually see the correct ending.
The thing about beating Contra 3 on hard though is like beating it on normal is a decent challenge.
Pretty decent.
Beating it on hard is just like frustrating. It's not fun. It's
it's
amp
not
the difficulty up
it's
so
not
much.
Battletoads
It's just
hard,
not
but
even fun.
It's still difficult. One of these days I'll actually try to actually do it, but I mean I get to that level where you get to the missiles, and that big thing on this right side of the screen is shooting and like take the. I don't think I've ever been past that boss.
The thing that walks up the wall.
No.
Oh, and you're fighting the xenomorph looking dragon thing. The final level? The
No.
last stage?
It's like the 4th level. It's the level when you're on that speeder bike thing.
Okay, okay.
And then there's that boss that takes up the entire right
blimp.
side of the screen thing. Yeah, with the red eye, and it's shooting the missiles that blow up, and then you can fall down.
Yeah.
On hard mode, that's the furthest I've made it.
Okay.
Is there. And then I die. And that's it. I've never seen the
Gosh.
final overhead screen level. And then
Oh,
I've never
dude.
even made it to the fucking last level.
Forget it.
Everybody sees that gold cart and they just get freaking hard.